What is nationalism? It's the belief that each culture and nation should be able to live within its own borders, its own traditional borders, without being invaded, harassed, or conquered or colonized. Right? Um, Sometimes there's self-determinationist movements, like when you had Yugoslavia. It was made up of other countries, so it was nationalistic for it to break apart. Those are nationalist movements. Um, a nationalist would be against all forms of colonization, communism. It would be against communism, feminism. Although communism has been used to fight for nationalist causes, such as in Vietnam. It's been used as a rallying thing. It's a polemic in the world at the time. A nationalist would believe that what usually has devotion to their culture, but respects and likes diversity, and doesn't believe that all cultures or all anything are equal. They're different. Some are better in some ways, some are worse in other ways, and there are some that just need to be wiped out, like the Thuggee, or the cannibals that existed in the Caribbean, or freaking the Aztec Triple Alliance. Did not need to be around. Nationalists can be for a republic, they can be for a king, but it's the standing believing that you have a right to your own land, and to your ancestral land, and no foreign rule. Patriotism, on the other hand, is just a word. That's kind of like saying, I'm always right, or I'm the good guy in this situation, but it doesn't matter what situation you're in, because you could be claiming to be a patriot and, acting against the Constitution, because actually America was really founded on the Articles of Confederation, or claim to be a patriot by shutting down some of our constitutional rights, because you're protecting citizenry. So that's a bunch of crap. We'll say they screw with it. They say nationalism is bad and patriotism is good. I see it the exact opposite way. This is why I'm for the 32 county sovereignty movement, and for Britain to have no colony in any of the 6 counties, Northern Ireland. That the IRA were good guys, although they were infiltrated by the British. We know that now. Most of the killings of civilians were done by MI5 and all that stuff, undercover people. The assassination squad of the IRA was all British soldiers that had infiltrated it. Why am I not for the state of Israel? Why do I not believe in its existence? Because Jews are people who practice a religion known as Judaism, which forbids Zionism. And these people came from Ethiopia, Lithuania, Germany, Russia, Poland, France, the United States, and they went to a land that, even by their own account, they hadn't, not their ancestors, but their spiritual ancestors hadn't lived in for over 2,000 years, or at least since the Bar Kokhba revolt. And most Jews don't have a drop of Semitic blood in them anyways. Sephardic have Semitic blood, but even if you have Semitic blood, that doesn't mean that you're related to the ancient Israelites. Most specifically, Judah. The one people we know are actually descended from the tribes of Israel are the Samaritans. So I'm for Palestine. I'm against Islamism that's destroying all borders. Totally against communism, because communism wants to eradicate all culture, all countries, all differences, all that kind of stuff. Every nation. It wants to eradicate the right to own property, which is an innate thing in nationalism, because we believe you have the right to stand your ground and fight off an invading force. With communism, you don't have those rights. Actually, you don't have rights under communism. Which, read the Communist Manifesto. I challenge anybody. I always stick to that, because I don't go off into, Lenin wrote or Mao wrote. Let's keep the basics, because everybody wants to say, hey, the Communist Manifesto or communism works in theory, or Communist Manifesto has some good ideas. Which idea? It had good slogans. Workers of the world that unite. There's a specter haunting Europe. All hitherto, history has been, class warfare. And, workers of the world unite. You have nothing to lose but your chains. He had some good, catchy slogans in the little manifesto. But the rest of it is basically destruction of family, culture, identity, beliefs, any truths, any morality, any property. Not just means of production, but any property. You actually wouldn't be raising your children. There have been many communes that have tried that. The kibbutzim in Israel is one of them. So yeah, anti-Zionist, anti-communist, anti-imperialist, anti-colonialist, not for nation building, for alliances but not the UN, and believe that the Iraq War should have ended. Well, should have ended the day we got Saddam Hussein. Should have put a bullet in his head and left. Figure it out yourselves. Not dismantling the Ba'athist Party or the Ba'athist Party and all this kind of crap. The Baathists were fine. They were a normal, secular, social democrat party. It was Saddam Hussein and his two sons that were psychopaths. It wasn't like the friggin' Ba'athist Party wasn't like not the Nazis. But Hussein was like Hitler. But Hussein actually could keep a grip over his country, and keep things like lights. Keep electricity running and the lights on, and the trains running on time, and the roads not friggin' exploding, and maintenance to basic buildings. Sociopaths that rape in the name of God and behead bishops and priests and monks and women and children, the most harmless people, they do the most brutal to. So, yeah, I believe ISIS and Israel are evil. Even more than that, I believe ISIS and Israel are in cahoots.